where Birmingham City Council had implemented a clean air zone that people did not say they wanted. And literally tens of thousands of people have not paid. They appealed them, and the appeals have been upheld, which meant that the council's attempt to do a cash grab and to just generate it this way, where the majority of people in Birmingham did not want this, have backfired. And so this is another example of using like impositions and restrictions and attempts to tax further in a way that's unfair, that has not worked. And actually, people with ULEZ and other local low emission zones should take note, and indeed these low traffic neighbourhoods that we're going to discuss about with Newcastle.
And in Glasgow, Alan, they've just worked out that their ultra low emission zone has actually seen pollution rise by 10%. So it's just the science just isn't working, is it?
That's right, Andrew. I mean, that's over 2 months. It's a recognition that in spite of these claims, in spite of the attempt for, the mayor's office in London and Shirley Rodriguez, is definitely to try and doctor the actual evidence and get scientific reports changed. The actual data from taking air particles does not correspond to these zones at all. They should be dispensed with. We should have an open, proper discussion about logistics and transport and clean air, all of those things, and how we want to move forward in a way that can harness our productivity and improve lives for everyone through better housing, better services, and development. And that way is how life has always been improved.
What happened in Newcastle then, Alan? They trialled one of these low traffic neighbourhood schemes and then they've ditched it.
Indeed. So an 18-month trial, Bev, and basically it became very apparent to the council that contrary to the idea that this is going to reduce traffic and/or it's going to encourage suddenly this blossoming of everyone cycling everywhere and walking. And I should just say, I'm an avid cyclist. I cycle lots of places. I love it. I walk lots of places. But my mum, who has a conditioned plant, if you're a delivery van driver, you can't just cycle or get on the bus, as David Lammy said. We have a whole diverse society. And what happened was that these cars were being pushed into outer areas, on other residential areas, other zones, and doing what always happens with road closures, which is pushing it out to another area, making the traffic go slower, increasing the actual fumes. People are in traffic for longer. And around the country, fair credit to Newcastle City Council, they did not just double down, which some campaigners want them to do. They said, look, we've had a trial, this has not worked, this has impacted residential areas. Some people are saying, well, actually, the way to counter that is just to get rid of extra cars, that you won't have them spilling out, right? That's the logic is a war on cars and ending of it. And I think we need to have a national conversation that's honest about freedom, about mobility, about transport, logistics, about public transport, about, how we do things and what, the choices we want to make. There's all sorts of technology as well we could be exploring, like tunneling, drones with cars, a whole range all round. But this constant attempt to suffocate and stop mobility and then charge and tax and survey, I think it's a brilliant moment about what's happened in Newcastle, and people should take note across the country. Hackney has 75% of roads they want to have with road closures. It's untenable, it's unacceptable.